basically, I'm planning out for the future. What is he going to be doing for my party to help me expand and grow in power? This is the character that's a supporting character who's going to either be a governor or leading caravans for me. That's my plan. So he has a very different outlook than the rest of the characters. But the things that I think are important. So he's got 6 skills in one-handed. That's already a given. So I can pick them out. Shield bash, or troops take 4 or less melee while in shield formation. One-handed weapons you wield have their handling increased by 20. Troops in formation have their one-handed effectiveness. I like this for troops. It's better for them. Let's see. So we got personal swing speed. Governed settlements have increased militia, or governed settlements get more security and increases axes and maces. Swing speed is good. I'd rather have more security than I would militia recruitment. Both are good. I'm going to go with this one. Cavalry. Let's see. Your one-handed damage is increased by 5% while mounted. Cavalry troops have their melee increased by 5%, or reduces the effect of wielding a shield, the combat speed. He's going to be cavalry. He's got a horse. I'm going to keep him on a horse. So we're going to increase that. 20% more damage while wielding a one-handed without a shield. He's always going to have a shield. Increases your hit points. 2 is meaningless. Melee troops 5% more experience after every battle. But I get double renown from tournaments. That's important. I want the renown. The renown is more important to me now and in the future. Of course, this is going to be for him. So we're going to get the melee troops. Okay, let's see. As a captain, in case he's in charge of troops or something. Larger shield protection, small for the troops, or shield takes less damage, and medium. I like this one because this is for shield wall only. The troops have medium bonus if they're in a shield wall. Okay, I'd rather have, this is for the troops. So they have a small bonus, but it doesn't matter what kind of formation they're in. I'll take that one. And his latest one is, so infantry in the party gain an additional 10% of their total XP after battles. Increased garrison limit. That's pretty good. Garrison wages are reduced. Infantry troops gain 2 XP per day. I want less cost because money is important. And the troops will skill up faster. I like that one better. And he can do that as a leader of his own party or as a governor of an area. So that's what I would pick for his one-handed skills. Two-handed skills, which he doesn't really have and not really going to be important. But polearm, which I'm not going to have him using. Although he could, he's a little bit better at polearm than he is one-handed. So I could have him using polearms instead, but they're all pretty much the same. Bow skills. He's going to be moving. Ignore enemy armor. Better accuracy. More damage. So riding is a pretty big one. And riding is important. Have more skill there. We want more control and speed. Maneuvering is more important than charge. Again, I'm thinking towards the future, so I want prosperity. I don't care about whether the horse is going to become lame or dead. It's not going to really happen. So the hit points don't really matter. I don't lose that many horses, so I'm going to go with that. Better deals. Better accuracy. Tactics. This is a big one. Okay, so under tactics, which I think this is a pretty big one. So you have loose formation, tight formations. I prefer the tight formation because I use the shield wall a lot. You can use a square, a skyne, or a column. Skyne is a wedge. Okay. I think that's the better one because that's the one I would use. This is important though. Tactics will give you more of an edge on how your troops are going to fight in a battle. Key word here is in simulations. When they say in simulations, if you tell your troops to just go and fight and you're not leading them, that's considered a simulation. That's the AI versus AI. So these are talking about AI versus AI battles. Now, since I plan to be fighting mostly on the eastern portion, there's less snow. It's going to be more plains, more steeps, and more deserts. So that's what I'm going to go with here. Larger party size, less cohesion. After every battle, you lose. You have cohesion. You're confused a little bit after the battle, so you lose. It's harder to become more confused after a battle if you take the first option. Plus, you get 10 more people to your party size. I take that one. This is AI and AI only battles. I would rather have more damage against all troops in any situation, and that we're getting that bonus rather than having a specific group like bandits. Why limit myself? Always give yourself more options in more situations, not less. So those are the tactics. Again, I think tactics are important. Charm. This will be important again, so let's see. Influence for winning a tournament, or is he going to have kids? This is for him as a party leader, so it doesn't affect me. So I would say for him, more kids. Next one. Do we get more renown for each issue that's resolved? And every time you defeat an enemy lord, you get a relationship bonus, or every time you defeat an enemy, you get a relationship increase influence after battles. Well, he's mostly going to be governing, so it's going to be issues. So I want him to deal with that. He has a 20% chance to avoid critical failures in his persuasions, or we can have a better chance for double praise. Give him a better chance to avoid a critical failure. Avoid the critical failures. And at 100, we got increased relationship with opposite gender, or increase any relationship gain with the same gender. He's not gay. You can have him gay in your game. He's not. No one's gay in my game. That's just the numbers. Leadership, which I think is important. 2% for all the troops, 4% for the low-level troops. I think it's important. And they now this is tricky because while I want all troops to gain, we're going to get better recruits from the Assyri, but we don't want to play. My theme is I'm not going to really be using Assyri troops, so that's not really going to be a bonus. But we increase the low-level troops, but that doesn't help us with the higher-level troops. Tier 1 and 2 is not that big a deal. But we would get a garrison, which I do want him to be a governor. And the garrison gains 3 XP. So yeah, I'm thinking way into the future when he's a governor, and I'm going to have him have that. I'm generally going to be attacking, but more importantly, I'm increasing the recruiting rate of 1, 2, and 3 level prisoners. The more of them I have, the better, rather than waiting for them to increase. I'd rather get the early ones. Yes, the 4, 5, 6, those are better, but I got to get there. And that's only from when I'm defending. So I'll be attacking a lot. I'd rather have town loyalty than the garrison because that'll have less revolts. That's better. I want him to get non-bandits because those are some of the better troops. I'm going to go with that. Renown is not really the big deal for him. That's more for me. So, and finally, I want the heroes. He's not the clan leader. He's not a. This would be personal and party. Well, he's personally going to be with me. So I would go with that. He's not a clan leader. Trade. Trade is big. I mean, we're always buying and selling stuff, so that's important. And since I'm going to have him as a governor or as a caravan, this is going to be very big for his character because I plan, once I get there, to give him the ability to travel around. So he's going to be buying and selling deals all the time. So this is a big one for him. First one, since I plan to have him as a caravan, he's going to be using trade goods more than he is going to be using equipment. I may be using equipment because I'm using battle. He's going to be using trade goods, so that's it for him. He's not going to be the clan leader, I am, but he might be the quartermaster, and he may be leading some group, so I would go with caravan master. Again, he's not the clan leader, so we're not going to have him working with workshops. I'm going to have him working with caravans, so we're going to go with that. I can either get every villager to give me more money or every caravan. I'd rather have it from the caravans. Why tax the people? Tax the businesses. So this one's a little tricky because he may be at times the quartermaster, which is an important role in the party. So if he is a quartermaster, not the clan leader, but he's the quartermaster. So the question is, I can have three, I'm always going to have one more workshop than I have skill clan level. So at clan level 0, I would have 1. At clan level 1, I'd have 2. But I can also have caravans, pretty much as many as I have money. But that's also limited by the number of people I have. Realistically, I'm going to have 1 or 2. But I'll have more workshops. I plan to have 3 or 4. So my thought is, rather than have it from the caravans, I'm going to go with the workshops. So that's where I would go there. You may have a different plan. Again, I'm planning for him as a caravan and a governor. So that's why I've made those choices for him. For my own character, be a little bit different. You may have a different choice as well. Steward is absolutely important. Now, early in the game, you may have him, or later, early in the game, you may have him as a quartermaster for you. That being said, that would mean you want to make sure that he has the ability to take care of your troops or troops that he's leading. So this is an important one. So, do you want to have less food and no penalties for having just one food, or do you want less cost? I go with less cost. Again, this is a specific group of troops who are getting a bonus versus all the troops. I go with all troops, and it reduces wages. He's not going, as a quartermaster, he's not going to be working the workshops, and I don't care about whether or not the siege engines are faster. I'm worried about him dealing with, either as quartermaster or governor, dealing with food consumption and wages. Now, this one's a tricky one because I personally would probably go with the companion wages being reduced and being able to donate armor to my troops. Whereas for him, as a quartermaster, I would say village raids and decreasing the troops' costs, I think that's more important. I don't like, even though I like the tax income, having the morale boost because the number of mounts that you have versus cavalry, that number is going to fluctuate constantly. So we're going to be able to discard weapons and give them to the troops, and they get more experience, and we get a tariff. I'll go with that. And I'd rather not pay for wounded soldiers. This is the Middle Ages. It's not modern day. Plus, it helps the village if we get that. So, again, this setup is not necessarily how I'm going to play my character. This is the character that's a supporting character who's going to either be a governor or leading caravans for me. That's my plan. So he has a very different outlook than the rest of the characters. So that's how I've done his initial perks. Now we get to choose what is he going to focus in. Again, I want him to run a governor or a caravan. So that means he's going to need trade, which means we need all of these skills to be increased. This is going to boost all of them at the same time. Matter of fact, let me show you. So this is my trade, right? So we're going to go in here and we're going to skill up all of them at once. So that's 1, 2. We're going to start with at least a 3. Actually, a 4. So that's going to improve this increasing over time by itself. I'm also going to give him focus on this because he's going to be doing a lot of trades. So we will do at least, let's go with 2 to start with. That's not a lot considering how high he is right now. We'll deal with that in a second. Steward is another one that's important. So let's add at least 3, and let's give him 3. Actually, let's max this. We're going to max this and give him, so that'll get us to at least the gourmet. I really want to get further, but he's getting further there. We have some other skills to deal with. I want to give him, let's get at least 1 more into the scouting. And I want him to have skill in scouting. I also want him to have medicine. Let's go and give him scouting, at least 1 in scouting. I'm not really worried about the one-handed, two-handed. He's already pretty much there. Although it can get much better. But he's pretty close. Not that worried about it. He might be smithing at some point. So let's give him another one there. It's not a lot, but again, he's already got skill points. I don't need to go crazy about this. 3. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'll go 3. Okay, and the rest of the skill points. So we've got Steward is maxed out. I want 1 in, that'll get me the first 3 in medicine. Medicine's important. I'm gonna max out the trade. Max it. So we got maximum in Steward, maximum in trade, 1 in scouting, 1 in medicine. Leadership. So we put 4 there. He's going to be a governor, so let's go with 2 there. Because that'll give him, as a governor, faster building production. Again, I want him to be a governor and trade caravans. That leaves me 7. So let's go with 1, 2, 3 for charm. That leaves me 4. Never hurts to have at least 1 more in rogues. And scouting gives me a first 2. That leaves me 3 extra. 3 extra. And I think you need steward, medicine, engineering, leadership, trade. These 5 are big for a character that's going to be out there. Scouting, he's going to do some of that. I'll give him 1 more in scouting. And riding, I think, could be important as well. And it makes a big difference in the character.